have a green box, we have a live counter ticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime Network. It is the Paradox Hour podcast, and today we welcome you all to Jurassic Park. And of course we
Just
all
remember,
know...
Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark.
You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! I was gonna make that reference! You piece of shit! You piece of shit! That was
I'm
mine!
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you had dibs on that. Should have discussed that with me beforehand. Maybe I would have let you have it.
It's just that we both went for it! God damn it! Oh man, I was gonna do it in the tweet, but then I thought, nah, it's better if I do it in the fucking stream. Oh, god damn it.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry. But look, Twitter looks like it's going to be going the way of the dinosaurs anytime now, so...
Oh yeah.
Might as well talk about the dinosaurs.
Fucking Twitter is just, like... it's to the point where I'm basically blocking anyone that now has a verified tick that, I don't think needs it for their job.
Yeah, no, the blue check marks are now, like, kind of a sign of unworthiness.
Well, it's like that, it's like that mark they used for plague houses during the Black Death.
Sounds about right.
Now, you know to keep away.
Hashtag
yes.
quarantine the blue check marks.
So yes, today we're discussing Jurassic Park, where all the dinosaurs are running wild.
Hey, you still got reference into the song.
Yeah. I've got the lyrics up in front of me. I had to pick a line.
There are a lot of good lines. Weird Al is great.
Yeah, no, as I said, I remembered that song and just went, I'm going to have a look at the lyrics just to see if there's anything good in that. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to try and use this, and then you fucking stole it from me, you...
I am a kill-stealing asshole, yes.
Yeah. God, I still remember that fucking music video that's like claymation, isn't it?
It is claymation, yes. It is hilarious.
No, it's great.
It's really hard to go along with the Weird Al music video, honestly.
Well, that was when I was really getting into his stuff. I mean, I think the one that actually got me into it was The Night Santa Went Crazy.
Yes.
That one's also really good. But yes, we're gonna try and discuss the three films in the Park Trilogy. We're not touching the World Trilogy.
Why would we?
I think it still has some redeeming points.
Fair enough.
Admittedly, I've only watched the first one. I haven't watched the second two.
There's your problem.
So maybe I'm wrong, but I still have some fondness in my heart for Jurassic World. Yes, it's a
Bit of a garbage fire.
it's very playing on nostalgia. And it's to the point of it's like fucking Vegeta and DBZA. I know they're playing me, but it still works. I loved seeing the fucking T-Rex from the first film. I don't care that it was dumb.
Yeah, no, the motherfucking T-Rex showing up is great.
I don't care that was dumb or that, what's her fucking name? Dallas Bryce Howard would be in no way able to
Bryce
run away.
Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard. I got the right words, I just didn't get the right ordering. I don't care that she wouldn't be able to run away from it in high heels. I don't fucking care. I mean, that's, to be fair, I think more fondly on this trilogy than I think quite a few people do. Obviously, people like the first one.
The first one is an all-time favorite for a lot of people, for good reason.
The first one is a masterpiece. The second one, obviously...
it's flawed, but still pretty good.
Yeah. I genuinely enjoy the third one.
See,
I'm going to be brutally honest.
So, I will still never forgive the third one in my heart because when I was a child, the T-Rex was my favorite dinosaur, and then they
Ah,
have
okay.
this big establishing scene where the Spinosaurus just effortlessly murks a T-Rex and is
Mm,
like, no, bad movie,
mm.
instant F.
You know where the difference is between us? Your favorite dinosaur is the T-Rex. Mine was the Velociraptor.
Ah,
And
yeah,
that one featured very heavily in that movie. It featured heavily in all the movies, frankly, because it was,
yeah,
the way they
one of
portrayed it
the
is terrifying.
icons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we now know, fucking 20 years on. Well, God, no, 30 years on for the first one. Holy fuck, Jurassic Park is 30 years old.
Yep.
Because it was 1993. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, 30 years on, we now know it's not an accurate portrayal of the
No, it's
vast
more of a
majority of.
Deinonychus, but Deinonychus isn't really a catchy name compared to Velociraptor.
Well, yeah, a lot of kids are gonna struggle to say it.
Yeah.
Um, I think there was also some thought that it might be Utah Raptor as well, but regardless,
No, Utahraptor's way too big.
I think it's.
Utah Utahraptor's like twice as big as the Velociraptors in the movie.
I'm gonna have to like search and like because it's been a while since I've read up on my dinosaur lore. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
that Utah Raptor was fucking huge. I'll give it that one.
Yeah, no. It was modeled off the Deinonychus, based off of like
Yeah.
the range that they were using, because Deinonychus, native to North America, uh, fairly substantially larger than Velociraptors actually were, but more in keeping with the size they're portrayed as in the movie.
hmm Uh, 3.4 meters long. Um,
Yep.
give a weight? No. The Utah Raptor, 4.9 to 5.5 meters long and weighing 280 to 300 kilograms. In American, that's 620 to 660 pounds.
Yeah, no, Utahraptors are huge.
hmm Um, okay, they are huge, but they're not actually that tall. They're very long, but they're not very tall.
Yeah,
Because they're
but there's a lot of artistic license in the Jurassic
yeah.
Park movies.
In terms of actual height, they're only about the size of an average human. Um,
Mm.
about 1.8 meters. Um, yes, we're gonna get this out of the way. Yes, we all know that Jurassic Park is wildly inaccurate. Um,
It was fairly accurate for the time, to be
it
fair. It's
was,
just
it was,
a
but
lot,
30
a lot
years,
of
30
yeah.
years.
30 years of paleontology will do a lot to fuck up this kind of film in
And
retrospect.
here's a line that I actually really liked in Jurassic World. It didn't help anything. It didn't stop the actually people from speaking up. But
Mhm.
the line in Jurassic World where they said the dinosaurs look like this because people expect them to look like this. We have genetically engineered them to look like this.
Mm.
Which I think was a fairly decent save. Um, but obviously, yes. The first movie was based off of a book by Michael Crichton, um,
Yep,
based on a thing that he really hated, which is of course theme parks. Um,
that tracks.
no, I'm joking. It's meant to be a spear of capitalism.
Yes. Well, theme parks are a symptom of capitalism oftentimes.
Yeah, I'm just making the joke because he was also the one to write Westworld.
Yep,
So
that
so
tracks.
so people now joke that he just really fucking hates theme parks.
Yeah. A fun fact also about the Jurassic Park novels. Originally, the first Jurassic Park novel was a standalone. But
Mm.
then, after the success of the movie adaptation, his publishers pressured him to write a sequel so that they could adapt the sequel
Yep.
to the big screen. It didn't work out perfectly because Lost World is very little like the novel, but
Well, yeah, because I mean the thing is that the movie made a lot of changes to the book, the initial book,
mhm.
and so like, why don't you write a sequel to your first book, to the first Jurassic Park, and then we could adapt that. Okay, but I've changed all these things. Ah, we just need a book. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's
Um,
producers for you.
um,
The producers.
um, because yeah, I mean, there's some bits and pieces in here that are the same, and a huge amount that isn't.
hmm
um, I mean, the fact that Dodgson from the first movie plays a central role in the book when he
Yeah.
basically just gets left behind. I think possibly because did the actor die? Um,
Uh-uh. He got booked.
no. Okay.
I forget
Oh,
what exactly it was for. Oh no. Oh no.
to be fair, that was well in the future from the movie.
Yeah, but oh no.
Oh, absolutely. Oh no. Um, so we're gonna try and avoid giving him some attention.
To be fair, he's only in one scene, so we don't really have to.
I mean, it's a great scene, but mostly thanks to Wayne Knight, who is just wonderful. Um, like throughout the entire movie, Wayne Knight is wonderful. Admittedly, I keep thinking he's dead when he's not. Um,
Yeah, no, that's pretty wild, honestly.
I'm I
Like
I
there are a
mix
lot of
I mix
actors you think are like
yeah
dead, but they're not because so it's like
I mix him up with John Candy.
that's it. Yeah, no,
I
he's
always
different.
mix him up with John Candy.
I'm
Uh,
pretty sure only one of those two was on Seinfeld.
mm.
I'm
It
pretty sure it
was
was
Wayne
Wayne
Knight.
Knight.
Yeah, it was Wayne Knight. Seinfeld and Third Rock from the Sun.
hmm
Um, and obviously he was in Space Jam as well.
hmm
Space Jam was 1996. It doesn't feel like it should be.
Yeah, no, it's
Feels
wild.
that feels peak early 2000s.
No, that was in the '90s.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I got a lot of replay throughout the 2000s though,
Mm,
because I remember. But we're getting off topic.
we are.
Another change from the books was the Hammond's grandchildren,
Mm,
Tim and Lex,
yeah.
who were basically had their ages swapped
Mm.
in the movie. Because I believe Tim was the older one in the books and the one who was computer savvy.
Um, very possibly yes. I can't remember entirely. Just seeing if I can find it in TV tropes. Should probably look at characters instead. That
Yeah,
seems like the better choice. Um,
yeah.
yeah. Yes, in the novel he is the older sibling. Yeah. Um, doesn't say why though.
Yeah, no, I think it was because the
Oh,
producers wanted to make it such that the girl character was a bit more competent to, just give a little girl power to the movie or something like that.
apparently Lex in the books was kind of terrible. Um,
Yeah, that tracks.
so yeah.
But honestly, why worry about girl power when you have the ultimate symbol of girl power that is the motherfucking T-Rex?
Trans dinosaurs.
I know, it's pretty wild.
Life finds a way, especially if you're fucking dumb and use a species of animal that's known to fucking change, be able to reproduce with only one sex of animal, like, or sex of, yeah, like,
Yeah.
that's just dumb. That's just
Yep.
really fucking dumb.
I believe there are also a couple species of lizard that can also homosexually reproduce.
Mm. But yeah, like, when your whole
Out
point
of
is
all
we're not
possible
gonna,
frog and lizard DNA they could
yeah,
choose from,
yeah,
they chose the worst possible one.
when your whole point is we're gonna make all of these dinosaurs one particular sex so they cannot breed, you go and pick that fucking oh god, it's just so fucking it's a comedy of errors, really.
Hmm. I mean, it's a sign of it's clearly a sign of cost cutting and corner cutting.
Mm. Oh yeah, I
Hammond was
mean,
bullshitting when he said they spared no expense.
oh no, he spared literally every expense that he could, and
Hmm.
honestly, quite a few that he couldn't. Um,
Hmm.
which results in a lot of chaos and a lot of dead people.
Not least because he shorted some of his employees.
Hmm. Um,
Because that's what gets Nedry to go off the rails.
is there a little bit more sympathy for Nedry now?
Yes.
Because, like, he's got a point. He deserves to be paid what, like, if he is, like, and we see that he is basically one of, what, two programmers in the building at the time?
Hmm.
Um, and obviously, fucking Arnold is nowhere near as, competent as much as I love
Or
him
skilled.
because
Yeah.
he's played by, Samuel L. Jackson. Um,
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is good at many things, but he's probably not a great computer programmer.
hmm. And we see again, you go to Jurassic World, and you see the fucking like programmer room, I guess, and like it's
Hmm.
fucking full. Like there are a couple of dozen people in there.
Yeah. To be fair, computers were far less advanced way back in the day.
Very fair, but one would think that um, Nedry still deserved to be paid more.
Oh, absolutely.
Admittedly, he chose a shitty way of uh what's the word I'm looking for? Of expressing that dislike for his pay by, shutting off the entire park while there were people there. Um
Oh, yeah, no. Really fucked up.
but, there is some sympathy there. Um
But speaking of computers, we should talk about the absolutely fucking revolutionary CGI in this
mm.
movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, changed the game pretty much.
Yeah, because it was a really well implemented combination of practical and computer effects,
Mm,
which is something that studios nowadays seem to forget about.
mhm,
It's all CGI all the time for some fucking reason.
mhm.
And CGI is not actually cheaper.
No.
It just is more expensive in a different way.
I mean, I still remember watching a um, DVD extra on Jurassic Park 3 with them like creating the physical models for some of the dinosaurs.
Hmm.
And it's still really really cool. Um,
Yeah.
really really interesting, man. That was what 2001, I think Jurassic Park 3 was. Yeah, 2001.
Mm.
So early 2000s. Um, and that was sort of the. Would you say it was almost sort of the golden age because obviously people knew how it worked at that point,
Hmm.
but didn't sort of overuse it. Because you've also, in
You still
that,
got really strong practical effects.
yeah,
Yeah.
in that time period, you also had, Lord of the Rings that was being made at the same time that again
Hmm.
used practical effects. It obviously did use CG for a number of shots. Basically, anytime they had a large crowd, there was some CG in there. Um, but
But for the most part, that was really well composited.
yeah, um, so I don't know, but I don't know where where you would say that turning point happens.
I'm pretty sure Jurassic Park is the turning point.
Well, I
Or at the
mean,
very least, it's like the herald of the turning
mm,
points.
well, I'm more mean in the turning point of good mix of CG and practical effects to overuse of CG. I mean, obviously,
Oh yeah.
we know the Hobbit movies were criticized heavily for their reliance on CG.
If
Um,
I had to pick, I'd say it was Avatar.
Very possibly, yes, very possibly. That was what 2008, 2009.
2009.
Yeah, you very well might be right about that because that was again like Jurassic Park was a turning point. That was almost a turning point of wow, look this movie that's pretty much almost entirely CG. Look what we can do with it, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
well, there's also just the part of it also marked the rise of 3D
mm.
in a lot of theaters. Remember, like there were 15. There was like a good 5 years of everything is 3D now. Like 15 out of every 20 movies were 3D. All that shit.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember that it went away because
Mm-hmm.
it only really worked in theaters.
Mm-hmm. And almost nobody talks about Avatar outside of watching it in a theater that one when they actually went to see it the first time.
hmm I mean, I've still never watched Avatar, and I've never felt like I'm missing out on it.
I watched it once and I barely remember anything about it.
Yeah, but yeah, we've talked a little bit about it, but we should talk about the our principal cast in the first Jurassic Park.
Well,
Um,
there is of course Hammond, who is the big shot behind the whole thing.
Good old Richard Attenborough,
Yep.
the evil counterpart to his brother David.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you've got the three doctors: Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Supporting
You got the
cast:
lawyer,
Donald
Mr.
Gennaro.
Gennaro.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, who has given bad advice to people fearing dinosaurs for 30 years now. Um,
You
Robert
got, of
Muldoon,
course.
Robert Muldoon,
Yep.
loved him. Bob Peck, again, another one who's unfortunately passed since. Um,
Of course, you got B.D. Wong as Henry Wu, Sam Jackson as Ray Arnold, and the aforementioned Wayne Knight as Dennis Nedry.
mhm.
And last but not least, the children, Tim and Lex, Hammond's grandkids.
And Richard Kiley as a cameo appearance as the voice of the Jurassic Park tour vehicle guide.
Oh, that's fun.
They genuinely got him. They spared no expense.
I mean,
Um,
the movie producers absolutely did not spare
oh no,
any
absolutely
expense.
not. I mean, it's fucking Spielberg. He was going ham.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because so it was obviously already done E.T., already done a couple of Indiana Jones and Jaws. Um, Jesus Christ, 1993, Jurassic Park and Schindler's List from Steven Spielberg. That man fucking cooked.
That man is a workhorse. Good God.
Yeah. Jesus. Um,
No wonder he took 4 years off. And then he did two movies in the same year again. The fuck?
yeah.
Spielberg was on a fucking hot streak in the 90s. My God.
But then he went on and did, Saving Private Ryan the year after those Lost World
Yeah.
and Amistad. Um,
Jesus. He
his
didn't start hitting
his
bumps until the
adventures in the
2000s.
yeah his adventures in the 21st century have been less
They've been a lot more varied in quality.
yeah. War of the Worlds, fairly sure has a good reputation.
Excuse me. I
Um,
mean, he did better in the 2010s with, like, Lincoln, Warhorse, Bridge of Spies, stuff like that.
yeah, but he also did Ready Player One.
Ready Player One was a fun movie. It just wasn't all that It wasn't like a masterpiece or anything.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different one. Okay, no, I'm
You're
thinking
probably
of
thinking of the book, which is awful.
the book. There was also one with Adam Sandler in it.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of that one was. Um,
Probably for the best.
hmm. Yeah, so yeah, you had Stan Winston to create the animatronics. Very famous special effects
And of
guy.
course, you had John Williams working on the iconic score.
Hmm. Um,
Then again,
and
there isn't really a John Williams score that isn't iconic, I don't think.
let's. Where is?
The man has a 50-year career.
Yeah, let's have a look.
60 years now, Jesus.
List of compositions.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
Okay. I just want a list of movies he's worked on, please.
There are just so many.
Um, so 5 Academy Awards for Best Original Score:
Yep.
Jaws, Star Wars, E.T., Schindler's List. Um,
But that's only four.
yeah, I know. I assume you got 2 for Star Wars.
Oh, probably from different episodes.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Cause yeah, that doesn't make sense. I did pause for a second, like, huh? I assumed, seeing as it just said Star Wars, he probably won one there. Um,
Oh no, it was the original one, New Hope.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, he is just phenomenal score, and you will recognize the Jurassic Park theme anywhere.
Yep.
He does really good score work, but his work in the Jurassic Park movies is fan fucking tastic. There's also, of course, how can we
Here we
forget
go.
about?
Here we go. Um, so he's been going since 1959.
Yep,
So I'm just gonna
I think he retired recently.
if possible. So Jaws, Star Wars, Jaws 2,
Oh, that's funny.
Empire Strike Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. Worked with Spielberg in a lot of these.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of Spielberg was his biggest collaborator.
Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 Home Alones, obviously Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Lost World, Phantom Menace, the Harry Potter films, War of the
The man was
Worlds,
nominated for over 50 Academy Awards, which is insane.
uh, 3 sequel films for Star Wars.
I'm
Um,
pretty sure he has either the highest number of Academy Award nominations or one of the. I would not be shocked.
hmm. um, Honors, list of awards and nominations received. So he's got a whole fucking list of nominated and won for, the Academy Awards. So you got Best Scoring Adaptation and Original Song Score for Fiddler on the Roof in '72. One Best Original Score for Jaws, Star Wars, and E.T., and then Schindler's List. That's it. So maybe they're counting Fiddler on the Roof in that 5 Academy Awards. Um,
Oh no, so Williams isn't the most nominations.
oh,
Walt fucking Disney is.
just okay.
Given that he's a producer on like 22 Academy Award winning films.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's because the Academy Awards have a fucking hard on for Disney films.
Well, no, this was all while he was alive.
I still say they have a hard on for Disney films.
Not wrong.
And not to mention, how much fucking like competition was there when Walt Disney was still alive? Assuming he's not still alive, frozen somewhere.
Fair point. But yeah, John Williams has the most nominations for music
Mm. Um,
at 52.
yeah. Also won a fuck ton of Grammys for what that's worth.
59 noms and 20 wins. Yep, which is also ludicrous.
Mm. What a fair amount of. Okay. No, he's running 50% for Emmys.
Nice. But yeah, let's
Get back on
let's
topic.
get
Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
So Jurassic Park did do a very phenomenal job of basically codifying dinosaurs in the public consciousness,
Mm,
as much more accurately than they had been beforehand.
yes. Um.
Now, as we said earlier, it's kind of been outpaced by more recent paleontological discoveries, but it was far more accurate than the stuff from like the 60s and earlier was.
Well, the point is that the effects were just not able to portray them in a way that you know really really emphasized their majesty, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you got like that
They were.
establishing shot of the brachiosaurs, which is just like really great establishing shot, by the way.
Oh, I mean, it's an emotional scene both in universe and out. Obviously, in universe because Grant and Sattler are seeing dinosaurs alive for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And out of universe, yeah, it's this holy shit. These look like real living creatures. These
Yeah,
don't
no,
just look like weird, jankily moving, puppet or claymation or anything like that. These look like
they look
legit animals.
alive,
Yeah.
which is like godly impressive back,
Mm,
especially like back then.
yeah. Um, because again, 1993, like
Mm-hmm.
it. Special effects just weren't where they were back then. There has been a huge amount of progress, um, and in terms of you give credit to Star Wars for a lot of the sci-fi effects that we see now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic Park did that for living, breathing creatures.
Yeah, no. If Star Wars was the revolution for basically like ships, robots, all lasers, all that kind of sci-fi stuff, Jurassic Park was definitely the one to revolutionize how we portray CGI animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to go wrong with the effects in Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
The score is also incredible, as we've
Yeah.
said.
I think we should,
And
I think we've talked about the production side of it long enough at this point. Most of the half an hour we've been going. So let's talk
in
about
terms of
the
the
acting then.
story and the characters themselves,
Yeah, let's start talking about the acting because I mean Sam Neill does a fantastic job as Alan Grant.
hmm and then of course this is one of the movies that made Jeff Goldblum a sex symbol in the '90s.
I mean he was partly shirtless for like half the film.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
And he was just like I mean, to be fair, his big movie that I recognized prior to that was The Fly, and I don't think anyone was looking at that as a
Oh no,
sex
definitely not.
symbol movie. But yeah, like I mean, there's a reason Ian Malcolm became the protagonist for the second film. It's
Yeah,
because he was so popular, and it wasn't because of the books. It was all Goldblum.
yeah,
Like Goldblum
because he had
stole
that
people's hearts.
charismatic presence to him.
Yeah. Not to
Life
mention
finds a way.
Not to mention, yeah, the fact that he was entirely fucking right about everything. He was he's portrayed in that early part of the first half of the movie as this fucking insane crackpot that works on chaos theory and like the idea that we can't control things and like but he was proven fucking right. He
Yeah,
was
no,
right.
he was vindicated several times over.
Life found a way and it fucked the entire park doing it.
Yep. But hey, we got an entertaining movie out of it, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. And I mean, the sad thing is what he says, and I can't. I have read the book. I can't remember the book very well because it's been so long since I've actually read it. Um, but obviously he has that speech, when they're having the lunch and they're discussing it, and that really is like, I think the crucial scene of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That really gets across what it's actually trying to do here. This is not, supposed to be a horror movie. Oh, look how scary dinosaurs are. This is a horror movie based on how scary science can be. Science
Yes.
without limits.
You
Science led by people, as Ian Malcolm says, too busy thinking about whether they can do it and not whether they should be doing it. And
Yeah.
led by, maybe not immoral capitalists in the sense of Hammond, because in the
Hammond's more of a reckless capitalist in the movie than he is an immoral one, like he is in the book.
In the book, he is 100%, full eat the rich capitalist.
Oh yeah, no, he is absolutely a scumbag. But Richard Attenborough just brought this charm to him that made it too difficult to hate him. Really.
Yeah.
He had this grandfatherly aura that made you really want to like him.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And to a certain extent, maybe it is for the better that they, made that change for his character. But certainly, I that lunch scene is one I've just come to appreciate so much more now.
Honestly, I don't think there's a single wasted scene in this movie.
Honestly, I can't think of one, not off the top of my head. I'd have to watch the movie again.
Even the scene where the T-Rex eats the lawyer off the toilet, that is totally fucking necessary.
I mean, it's just fucking yeah. It's like, and again, it's part of the media's demonization of lawyers.
To be fair, this lawyer is a corporate defense lawyer.
He is.
Which are the slimiest kinds of lawyers.
And, it's... Again, it gets to the point where, in that lunch scene, Gennaro is the only one who's on board with Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
All three of the doctors are like, maybe you should have thought a little bit more about this. This might not be the best idea. As much as we love seeing these dinosaurs in real life, this might go wrong at some point.
And lo and behold.
I mean, to be fair, again, there are so many hints to the lack of care that has been taken in creating this park throughout the before you even get to Nedry shutting off the fences and taking his shit and fleeing. The example that I thought of was the plants in the entrance hall that Sattler picks out as, these are poisonous. Why have you got these here?
Yep. They want the whole experience all ready to go for everyone. Even the poison. Mm-hmm. You gotta simulate that poison. Mm-mm-mm.
And, the scene with the Triceratops is a sign that they, as much as they have, basically almost built these creatures from the ground up, they still don't know what they're about. They don't know how they live. They don't know how they eat. Like,
I mean, part of that is because they are displaced in time by 65 million plus years.
mm, yeah, but again, the point that's a reason they shouldn't have done it.
Well, yeah, and also like they didn't take that into account when they were when they were making the dinosaurs.
Mm,
Is my point.
yeah.
They didn't take into account like how different the world is.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I. I'm trying to think. I don't think they actually had, an on-staff paleontologist.
No, I don't think so.
The closest we
I
get to somebody out in the field actually looking after the dinosaurs is Dr. Harding. And I've just been looking at his entry on Wikipedia, which again obviously may be wrong because it's Wikipedia, but he's the chief veterinarian. He was the chief in the novel. He was the chief of veterinary medicine for San Diego Zoo, and the world's leading expert on avian care. But that's not dinosaurs. As much as we can see that birds take some parts from dinosaurs. They're not the same thing at all.
no.
Um,
It's millions of years of evolution
yeah,
separating the two.
and obviously, there needs to be some connection between modern veterinary medicine and people who know or have as much of an idea about how these creatures lived as
Yeah,
one
because the
can
thing
have
is, like,
65 million years later. At least 65 million years later. There are dinosaurs that are hundreds of millions of years ago. Like, that's the
yeah,
thing.
the oldest dinosaurs are over 200 million years old.
Yeah, that's the thing. They say 65 million years. That's when the period of the dinosaurs ended. Dinosaurs were around for millions and millions and millions of years. There's three main periods that most people don't know about.
Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous.
Yeah.
And most
Um,
of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are actually from the Cretaceous period.
yeah. And that is mostly when, I think if I recall correctly from my childhood reading, I had two big, and I mean big, like big hardcover dinosaur books. Um, if I recall correctly, the Cretaceous period is when dinosaurs started getting bigger.
Hmm.
And that's
Well, no, they
that.
started getting bigger in the Jurassic period when you had guys like uh, I think it was the Apatosaurus and such.
Mm,
But then you had the big sauropods developing in the late Jurassic, early Cretaceous.
yes, I'm
This is just
I'm
off
not
the
an
top of my head.
expert.
It's been
Yeah,
a long time since I studied dinosaurs in detail.
yeah, I'm not an expert.
Neither am
Neither of
I.
us
I won't pretend
are
to be.
experts. Um,
But most of the most famous dinosaurs are either late Jurassic or Cretaceous period dinosaurs.
yeah.
Like
Um,
the T Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptor, Cretaceous period.
I mean, to be fair, I think I can't remember exactly, but I think the water-based one, the Mosasaurus, was
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the oldest ones um, in this franchise. Nope, late
Mm-hmm.
Cretaceous. My bad. No, okay then. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
most of
it's
the big boys
Cretaceous.
were Cretaceous.
Yeah. Um. Yep. My bad. I thought that was an earlier one. As I said,
It's good.
it's been so long since I've actually gone into this.
Yeah. No, but you got a lot of the dinosaurs are really really great in the movie.
Mm.
And of course, you have great scenes like Rexy munching the lawyer or the subsequent chase scene with the jeeps. Must go faster, must go faster.
Like
All
as
that fun stuff.
yeah. It's a little bit of an American experience I've found. Because I don't think I've ever seen in the UK a car that has that note that things may be closer than they appear in the mirror.
Ah, I still think it's a little funny add into the scene, though.
No, I do, because you see it get closer and closer, and then it's suddenly taking up the entire mirror, and you go, "Oh shit!" Um,
Yeah, it's a little bit bathos in that scene.
but again, that is the another sign of how well they were able to make these dinosaurs, out
Oh
of
yeah, no.
universe. Because again, in previous dinosaur movies before this, they were slow moving. Suddenly, you have a fucking giant ass dinosaur keeping up with a speeding jeep. Admittedly off road, but still speeding, like going as fast as possible. Um,
Yeah, it's like now in reality, Tyrannosaurus Rex did not go that fast,
mm,
except for like short sprints. But
mm. To be
artistic license and all that, and also it just makes for a more interesting movie scene.
to be fair, I would consider that a sprint.
Mm.
Like when you're that big, how long do you classify a sprint? um, because like obviously for humans, a sprint of 100 meters, 200 meters is uh seen as relatively a long time for somebody to full on sprint. T Rex's fucking stride is probably like a good 50 meters. So, like,
Yeah,
maybe not that big, but it's got a bigger stride than a human. Let's put it that way. So,
yeah.
size that up. I think that chase scene probably is, um, you know, as fair an approximation of a T Rex sprint distance as you could get at the time. Maybe I don't fucking know. I don't want to make a definitive statement as to the accuracy of anything. Um, but I mean, yeah, that scene with when the T Rex first gets out, that is, I'm fairly sure they said the actress for Lex, Ariana Richards, was genuinely kind of scared.
I
Which,
can't blame her.
yeah, I think I remember seeing that somewhere. Which, yeah, makes sense. Okay. I've just seen some stuff about the changing of characters. Um, So Hammond went from being a ruthless businessman to a kindly old man because Spielberg identified with Hammond's obsession with showmanship. Who could have fucking told? Um,
Hmm.
who could tell that Steven Spielberg is kind of obsessed with showmanship? Um, Spielberg apparently switched the age of the characters because he wanted to work with the actor for Tim, Joseph Mazzello.
Hmm, that's
Um,
neat.
so okay, interesting. So two scenes from the book were ultimately excised. Spielberg removed the opening sequence with the compy attacking a young child as he found it too horrific for
I was
budgetary
instead moved to
reasons.
I think Jurassic Park 2 or 3.
That was the first scene in Jurassic Park in the Lost World. That's why again my attention was like, huh, I remember that scene.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Spielberg agreed. Um, and then the second one, apparently for budgetary reasons, a scene of the scene of the T Rex chasing Grant and the children down a river before being tranquilized by Muldoon was cut, which again was included in Lost World. The Jeep scene was actually added.
Oh.
Because in the book, the characters fucking drove away once they heard the footsteps, which, smart of them.
Understandable.
Fucking smart of them. um, oh wow! Apparently, Jim Carrey auditioned for the role of Ian Malcolm.
That would have been a very different movie.
It would have, but I feel like it probably would have worked as well.
True, Jim Carrey, it would work pretty well.
Certainly for
He
the
does have some
level
really
of,
good acting chops.
certainly for the level of hamminess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently they all just fell in love with the idea of Jeff Goldblum playing the role.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, what else in the so obviously we had Sam Jackson fucking dying. Well, we think dying. He certainly lost an arm.
Probably dead, to be honest.
Almost certainly dead, but we never saw a body. We just saw the arm. Um, maybe he was still alive. He probably died when they fucking left him there.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. Apparently, they were happy with the idea of. Well, Sam Jackson and Wayne Knight were happy of getting eaten alive by dinosaurs in a movie,
Shocker.
and were disappointed that the scenes were cut that were not shown in the film.
Shocker. Sam Jackson
Yeah.
basically works on a rule of if it's cool, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, that's why he agreed to be Nick Fury.
That's why he agreed to be in Star Wars as long as he got a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly. Which, you know what? Good for him.
Yeah, no, know your worth. Know your worth.
Know what you want.
Yeah. Again, it worked out for him with Nick Fury because he got a shit ton of money for basically cameoing in a good like half a dozen of the movies.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. It might be the earliest role I've seen him in.
Sam Jackson?
Yeah.
Well, he was in Pulp Fiction, I think the same year.
Pulp Fiction was 1994.
Oh, so it was a year later. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And obviously at the time, well, when I was a kid, rewatching these movies constantly, it was also during the period I had trouble remembering which one was which between Sam Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne.
Mm. Yeah.
I know
this
now.
is fun.
I know now.
Sam Jackson didn't get to film Arnold's death scene because of a hurricane destroying the set.
Well, that was oddly fitting.
Yeah.
given the fact that there was, tropical storm at the time in the movie.
Well, right before that, but yes. That's unfortunate. He was apparently very unhappy that he wasn't able to do it, but
that's a shame, yeah.
Reality is as it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hammond was originally also supposed to get killed off just like in the book, but Spielberg scrapped that. Oh no, it wasn't Spielberg. It was David Koepp who joined the project. Who scrapped that idea. He was a screenwriter, director, and producer.
Mm-hmm.
So he screenwrote the movie. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, no, this is all really interesting. Looking up trivia of the movie. But yeah, no, the movie overall is just a really well put together movie.
Yeah,
and it builds really nicely across the film with just really good sequences throughout. You get like the great action sequences like the Jeep chase or the big climax with the Velociraptors being taken out by the T-Rex. But you also get the quiet scenes like Grant with the kids and the Brachiosaur, or
Grant basically between that first T-Rex attack and the climax of the movie, anytime Grant was with the kids.
Yeah, no, those are
Um,
great scenes.
yeah, those were fantastic scenes. Really, really humanized the character of Grant. Um,
Hmm.
uh, Obviously, we also got what was I gonna say? Shit, I've forgotten what I was gonna say. Nope, don't remember. Yeah, I'm dumb. I can't remember what I was gonna say. I mean, obviously we also got the catharsis of Nedry's death scene. Um,
Hmm.
I am sorry. I'm just
It's
looking
a
at the.
really horrifying way to die, by the
Oh,
way.
it is. Completely inaccurate. Um,
Yeah, the
completely inaccurate.
Dilophosaurus were not poisonous, to our knowledge.
Nope. Um,
Or venomous, rather.
yeah, Dilophosaurus was is apparently the most inaccurate dinosaur in the entire film.
Yeah.
Um,
They're also really fucking huge.
mm,
They're like 20 feet long or something.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the what could have been page and just saw that James Cameron wanted to direct.
That would have been
Um,
a very different movie, my goodness.
he wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger as Grant, Bill Paxton as Malcolm, and Charlton Heston as Hammond.
It is definitely for the best that he did not direct the movie.
Yeah, look, I can love a movie with Arnie Schwarzenegger. This would not have worked. This
No.
one would not have worked.
Also, I don't think James Cameron would really have been the right person for this movie.
Mm.
He doesn't have the right sensibilities for it, you know?
Well, he apparently said that his version would be much more violent,
Yeah, he
but
doesn't have the right sensibilities.
also said that it wouldn't exactly be better. So
Hmm.
fair enough. But apparently, Tim Burton and Joe Dante were also in the running.
That's interesting.
I mean, holy fuck, a Jurassic Park made by Tim Burton.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
um, no, I remembered what it was. Muldoon's death scene.
Yeah.
I liked Muldoon as a character because he was, pretty much the only one on the actual park side who respected the fact that these are dangerous fucking creatures and they should not be fucking with them.
Yep.
And he did his.
Unfortunately, no one listens to him.
No one listens to him, and he does his best to, help out, and then, it's not even necessarily that he underestimates the intelligence of the raptors. It is just a case of he just gets caught off guard.
Yeah,
Um,
no. That's why he says clever girl.
yeah. He accepts. You know what? Fuck it. I've been bested. You earned this.
Yep.
You earned this win, Raptor. But I always remember that scene where he's creeping up on that one raptor, and he has that shotgun, and he pulls the stock back very slowly and fixes it into place, and gets ready, and then just turns shit.
Yep.
um, but I think we can. We've been going for nearly an hour. Is there anything
We've been
else you want
gushing
to?
about this movie a lot because it's a
Yeah.
really fucking good movie.
Do you wanna? Is there anything else you want to say about the first one?
Other than it being a masterpiece, no.
Mm,
Um, actually, I do like the final scenes of the movie with Rexy just roaring triumphantly as the banner when dinosaurs
when
rule the
dinosaurs
world
rule the
just
world. Yeah,
falls right
yeah.
before her. It's just like
That is
absolutely
perfect.
cinematic bullshit, and I fucking love it.
No, that is absolutely perfect.
Uh-huh, it is
Absolutely
amazing.
perfect. Um. So yeah, last
But yeah,
thing. Won all three of its Oscar nominations.
I'm
The
not
first one.
shocked.
Best
Let me
sound
guess,
editing,
visual effects.
best sound editing, best sound mixing, and best visual effects. Yeah.
Yep, that does not shock me.
Um.
Should have been nominated for Best Picture though.
Well, that was the year with Schindler's List.
Fuck. I keep forgetting that it used to be only 5 nominations for Best Picture,
Yeah.
which is insane to me nowadays.
Not just that, but let's be real. Because of that, because of that Schindler's List nomination, it probably wouldn't have won even if it got nominated.
Oh, of course
Um,
not. No, Schindler's List won, didn't it?
yeah, it did.
Yeah, of course. I'd be shocked if literally anything beats Schindler's
Yeah.
List.
Look, there are some movies that you look at and go, right, this is Oscars bait. Schindler's List is one of those films, but it's rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
It deserved its win, even if it is, so Schindler's List, The Fugitive, In the Name of the Father, The Piano, and The Remains of the Day
Mm-hmm.
were the 1993 list. Um, Lost World didn't have much of a better list to contend with, considering, Titanic.
Yep.
But yeah, let's move on to Lost World, which again I fucking love. I mean,
Lost World's a fun movie.
uh, I mean, a weirdly serious Vince Vaughn appearance.
Yeah, I don't think he does serious as well as other comedians like Jim Carrey, for example.
I think he did well in this film. I
He did
genuinely,
alright in this film. It's just he
yeah,
doesn't do it as well as some other comedic actors, I think.
no, but I
Like
I think
he,
he was genuinely good in this film. Um,
hmm,
uh, and I mean, I like a lot of the characters in this film. And obviously, we really need to put more respect on Eddie Carr's name, the guy who
mm-hmm.
got torn in half by the two T Rexes.
Oof, yeah, that's a rough way to go.
Doing it to save everyone in that fucking giant truck. Um, saving Malcolm, Sarah, and Nick Van Owen. Um, keeping on going, trying to pull that fucking giant base up, even as the T Rexes arrived, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, started going at the car. Um, I mean, what's interesting about this film is that um, maybe not even necessarily interesting because obviously T Rex was the big star in the first one. It was very much the big star in this one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always. I would argue that the T Rex was more seen as a force of nature, I guess, not really malicious in its attacks.
Yeah.
And that's especially prevalent in this film, where it's very much treated as, look, it's just trying to protect its young, trying to protect its baby. Um,
Yeah.
it got revenge for the people it thought took its baby, which is slightly less, what's the word? Slightly less. What's the opposite of malicious?
Benevolent?
Benevolent. Slightly less benevolent of a motivation. Um, but it still had a reason. Meanwhile, you got the Raptors who are just there fucking causing chaos for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kill most of the InGen team. Um, for the sin of going into the tall grass, as the dude yelled as he ran into the tall grass.
Yep.
There was some idiot ball holding in this film.
Oh, lot of it. Who goes into tall grass with ambush predators?
Mm. Again, as I said, the guy literally yells, "Don't go into the tall grass!" as he's running into the tall grass. Like,
You fool! You absolute moron!
you brought that on yourself, my dude. Um, Underrated, or certainly I feel underrated performance. Pete Postlethwaite as Roland.
Yeah, he's great.
I love Pete Postlethwaite. like Postlethwaite, who again has unfortunately passed.
Yeah.
But in the roles that I've seen him in, he's always been spectacular. I mean, I'm just
Hmm.
reading on his fucking wiki. Spielberg called him the best actor in the world after working with him on Amistad.
Hmm.
That was obviously that was the same year, or that came out the same year as Lost World. So the fact is, it's he got him. Spielberg got him for both of his films in '97.
I'm pretty sure Jurassic Lost World had a much longer post production period, though.
Um,
I could be wrong though. I don't. I'm not very familiar with Amistad.
yeah, I historical drama, slave ship. So, uh,
Fun stuff.
honestly, doesn't have a lot in the production segment. So, um, I'm honestly not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Um, Anthony Hopkins. Wow, that's a hell of a cast. Um, Matthew McConaughey, Anthony Hopkins, Morgan Freeman. Um,
Dang,
Chiwetel Ejiofor made an appearance in it as well.
he's good. He's real good.
But yeah, so as I said, I love Pete Postlethwaite, and so I am always really happy to see him um, in Lost World. Um, as a dude who, you know, is there for the wrong reasons, but he's doing his best to keep people alive at the very least.
Hmm.
Like he's only there so he can hunt a tyrannosaur, which uh,
Yeah.
maybe don't hunt the animals that have already become extinct once before. Um, I don't know.
At least he's not as bad as his boss.
Oh no, Ludlow is terrible. Um,
Lolo is a piece of shit. And he gets the ending he deserves.
I mean Ludlow is what Hammond was in the actual book. Um,
Hmm.
and yes, he absolutely gets the ending he deserves. But I mean, to be fair, most of the people in the InGen team kind of suck.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the point.
It is. Roland is probably the best of them because again, his goal is to keep people alive while he's on this hunt.
Hmm.
Um, the paleontologist Robert Burke is kind of a superior asshole, but again, didn't deserve his death. Um,
Would you say his surname is appropriate?
a little bit, yeah. Um, okay, this is very funny. Um, The character of Robert Burke is based on paleontologist Robert Bakker, who believes that T Rex was a predator. Rival paleontologist Jack Horner, the film's technical advisor, viewed the dinosaur as being protective and not inherently aggressive, which, shows why T Rex got the portrayal it did. Horner requested that the character of Burke be eaten by the T Rex. Although Bakker enjoyed the scene and believed it vindicated his theory that T Rex was a predator. You know what?
I
Fair.
love scientist squabbles. They're so funny.
You know what? If you honestly, I feel like that would be like peak achievement for a paleontologist at this point, getting killed by a dinosaur on film.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised he didn't, if he didn't hear about it and go, "Can I play the role, please, please?"
Yeah,
Um,
that's great. Yeah, no, I feel like this movie is overall weaker though because of the main cast being
mm,
weaker on average
yeah.
as characters.
Um, I mean, it's very much a changed Ian Malcolm that
Hmm.
is portrayed in this film for good reason. He obviously went through a traumatic experience in um, in the first film. And he's being sent right back to, the source of his trauma, and is expected to, remain calm. Um, Sarah Harding, definitely not as good as Sattler, um,
No, definitely not.
and makes some pretty dumb decisions. Again, there's a lot of idiot ball holding in this film. Not necessarily
Yep.
enough to ruin the film, certainly not in my eyes, but again, some people just don't like Vince Vaughn. Um, I,
Vince Vaughn, I don't have a problem with the actor. It's the character I have a problem with.
the character is also not great.
He's like the classic straw man environmentalist that you see in so many of those
mm,
in so many movies from like the '90s.
yeah.
And it's like you're supposed to root for him, and he's like, yeah, he has a good cause and all, but he's also just like being a complete jackass about it.
Mm. And again, making stupid decisions as a result of that.
Yeah, exactly.
As I said, out of that group, Eddie Carr, most likable guy.
He unfortunately dies quite horrifically.
Yeah. Um, okay, this is pretty interesting. Um, while filming, Spielberg came to like the character of Eddie Carr so much he considered keeping him alive for the film. However, the actor convinced Spielberg to go forward with the death scene, saying, I went, well, no, I think it's better to kill me off because then all bets are off. If you like my character, then Jeff Goldblum might be next. You never know. I think we knew, but, he's got a point.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes you gotta have a sacrificial lamb.
mhm. um, I also love this film because I really like that scene, and maybe I shouldn't, but I do like that scene near the start of their stay on the island of the InGen team. Hunting down the dinosaurs, the mostly herbivores. I think all herbivores, in fact. I don't think they ever actually caught a carnivore.
Hmm.
In particular, I very much love the scene with the and I do know how to say this properly, the Pachycephalosaurus just fucking bull rushing a dude all the way through a car, through one door and out the other,
Love the Packy.
and that's the
Pachycephalosaurus is also just really fun to say.
Pachycephalosaurus is a fun word to say. I had trouble at saying it as a kid, better now. Um,
Yeah, as did I.
Honestly, the one that I have the hardest time actually saying, um, and I'm gonna butcher it because I do have trouble saying it. Parasaurolophus, something like that.
Parasaurolophus.
Yeah, that. I'm not.
No, don't worry. I also had trouble with that one. A lot of dinosaur names are really hard to pronounce.
As I said, I can say most of them. It's that one that really fucking gets me. Um, As I said, Pachycephalosaurus is the one that people think they should struggle with because it's long, but it's actually relatively easy because you can split the word up fairly well. Um, yeah, I'm just going through the list of dinosaurs in the movie. I thought Parasaurolophus was actually in the movie. Oh well, whatever.
Nope.
Um, but oh, it is. It is. I just skipped over it, apparently, or didn't get an entry. No, it didn't get an entry. It went straight from the Pachycephalosaurus to Patara. Fuck's sake. I'm overthinking it because I know I can say it if I don't worry about how I'm pronouncing it. Pteranodon. That's it.
Mhm.
Pteranodon. Um, yeah. So I've lost my train of thought. um, got distracted by trying to say the dinosaur names. Um,
Whoops.
uh, but yeah, Eddie Carr, you know, respect should be put on his name. Um, uh, how did you feel about Malcolm's daughter?
She was alright. Didn't
Mm.
mind her too much.
Again, she's a character that I feel like I've seen people dislike. Um,
I don't dislike her nearly as much as I dislike Sarah.
mm, um, I think part of it is people don't get why she was there.
No,
Um,
not inaccurate.
um, I mean, the character was changed from the books, but I think there was a character called Kelly in the book. Um,
I mean, I'm pretty sure Malcolm had a daughter in the book.
um, yes, he had kids, but it was changed in the movie basically because David Kep was like, I don't know why this child would be here. Because they could have. Because I'm just looking now. In the book, the character of Kelly is basically working as a research assistant to a Doctor Richard Levine.
Hmm.
Um, but that character doesn't exist in
In the movies.
in the movie because I think they just replaced him with Hammond again.
Makes sense.
Because plot summary is yada yada yada. 4 years after this disaster at Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm encounters and reluctantly agrees to team up with wealthy paleontologist Richard Levine, whatever. Um, so and yeah, that's basically the role that he's the guy who sends Malcolm to the island, um,
Hmm.
which is the role that Hammond took in the movies. Uh, so they had to think of a reason, why this young girl would be with Malcolm, and they initially, again, according to Wikipedia, they initially, she was initially supposed to be a student of Malcolm's, but like Kep was like, why would Malcolm, be teaching this girl? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Um, so he eventually just came up with the idea of again, because the film would deal with dinosaur nurturing, parenting element extends to the human characters. So she's his kid, um, which Spielberg approved because he apparently has two adopted black children.
Hmm. See, I thought it was just that Malcolm's first wife was black, and that's why. I
Um,
always thought Kelly was mixed race.
yeah. Well, Kep apparently wanted to write an explanation into the script about the discrepancy in skin color, but basically couldn't think of a simple way to do it.
Again, it's simple. Just make him be a divorcee with a
I mean,
wife who's African American.
I'm fairly sure he's already established as a divorcee.
Exactly. So all you have to do is say that his ex-wife is black, and
Mhm,
that explains the skin color discrepancy very, very easily.
mhm.
It's not that hard.
I guess it was hard in 1997.
Fucking 90s people, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that Lost World does have its good moments. Like the overall bit of a very different group dynamic
Mm.
on the island is very good.
Mm.
And of course, you have a lot of really fun dino sequences
I mean,
throughout the movie.
as much as the characters themselves aren't great, I do think the cast has a lot of chemistry with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I do think Malcolm, Eddie, Nick Fano, and Sarah, and Kelly all have good chemistry with each other and work well together. Um, as you said, the issue is that most of them aren't especially likable characters. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but and I think maybe there is an element of because we lack an actual paleontologist on the hero side. The closest we've got is Burke, and he isn't treated well, unsurprisingly, given that he's
Mm-hmm.
apparently supposed to represent the paleontologist supervisor's rifle. Um, so
Yeah,
he
it's
says he
funny.
says a lot of stuff, and like characters are like, this is fucking bullshit. Um, so I think there's maybe a disconnect there of there's less sort of knowledge about dinosaurs, like being brought by the cast. In the first film, there was a lot of Grant talking about the behavior of dinosaurs, and there wasn't as
Mm-hmm.
much in this one. Just because none of them are experts at it. Malcolm does his best. I assume having gone, I really don't want to be caught short anymore. Um, I'm gonna do a little bit of research.
It's hard because these movies have been out for like 20 odd years and or 30 years in the case of the first one.
Hmm.
And I don't think either of us has watched any of these movies in a hot minute.
I've probably watched it more recently than you'd think, but I haven't watched it for a while. Um,
Yeah.
but the other thing is that I am. It's almost a bad thing to say this now, considering the reputation that Marvel films are getting. I'm a big fan of humor and snark in my films, in my media in
Mm-hmm.
general, and there is a lot of
I
this.
enjoyed it as well. I think some people are just like really over the MCU
No,
and
I can
they
and I
just
can
take.
understand that because it's happening every single fucking film.
Yeah, no, I get that, but at the same time, like that doesn't mean all banter in all films is bad.
Mm,
Just like, come on, you gotta learn to separate things out a little bit here and
yeah,
there.
but there is a lot more of it in this film solely because it's fucking Ian Malcolm and Jeff Goldblum. Um, I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I do enjoy that humor aspect of it. I mean, again, when the InGen team is chasing the dinosaurs, Roland having trouble pronouncing the dinosaurs' names,
Mm-hmm.
and then ended up just giving them fucking nicknames, Friar Tuck, Elvis. Um,
See, that's funny.
there is a lot of again, I'm just looking at the funny entry on TV tropes, and again, it's got the entry or got an entry of that dude yelling, "Don't enter the long grass" as he follows them into the fucking long grass. Like, come on, come on, this is your fault. You brought this on yourself, dude.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about funny stuff, I gotta mention we're not on the third movie yet, but I gotta mention the dream with the talking
Yeah,
raptor.
that's dumb. That's dumb. I don't like that people bring it up because it's like a 30-second scene in a long movie. Come
I know,
on.
but it's so fucking funny.
Um,
It's hard not to bring it up since it's so goddamn memorable.
yeah. Um, again, it's meant to show the trauma that this first incident had on these characters.
Didn't exactly do that all that well.
No, it didn't work. It did not work, but they tried. Um,
You get the gold star for trying. Here you go.
funny moment from Lost World though. In San Diego, there's a scene of Japanese businessmen running away from it, yelling in Japanese. We left Japan to get away from this.
That's, oh my god, a Godzilla reference in my Jurassic Park movie. It's more likely than you think.
Mm-hmm. But
But no, Jurassic Park movies can have some really good, funny moments in them.
yeah. Um, I'm just trying to think of what else to say about Lost World that I haven't already said. Uh, again, I like this movie. I can't help but like this movie.
No, it's a good movie. It's just,
Yeah.
it is marred by a lot of flaws that the first movie just did not have.
Mm.
And so it's kind of like stuck in the shadow of its predecessor, which, again, is a tough act to follow.
Okay, this is a good line. Kelly dismisses staying with her friend Karen for not having a Sega, calling her a troglodyte. Ian responds, "Cruel but good word use."
Yes.
You know what? That's fair. That's it's a cruel way to refer to somebody, but troglodyte isn't always the most obvious word.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I get a certain amount of satisfaction of Ian Malcolm being through a large part of the first part of the film going, "You fucking idiots, why are you still here? This is only going to go wrong. Fucking leave."
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like again, a line that I always remember. Oh yeah, ooh, ah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming. Because it basically sums up all of the movies,
Yep.
including the Jurassic World ones. Um, but yeah, we
We
can
can move
probably
on
move
to
on.
the weakest of the original trilogy.
Again, I still like this film.
I get that, but it is still the weakest movie.
I mean, I understand why you don't like that scene, but I found it really cool. That sort of establishing fight of the Spinosaurus beating the T-Rex, even if it's bullshit, and it is
It is
bullshit.
bullshit. It
Apparently,
is
the
absolutely
Spinosaurus
bullshit.
couldn't even physically do that based on its skeleton. But
No, it doesn't have the musculature to.
yeah, I don't care. It's a cool scene.
Also, apparently, the Spinosaurs were amphibious, which the movie
Yes,
did get right.
the movie got that one right. I was really happy when that came out. It was like they finally got something right.
Mm-hmm.
They deserved to get that one right. Um, but yeah, it's a return to Alan Grant as the protagonist,
Mm-hmm.
which helps though. Again, just like with just like with Malcolm in the second one, he's very much of the opinion, why the fuck are we here? You should be trying to leave.
Because the Kirby family are fucking dumbasses. I
They
said it.
are. They are. I'm not going to deny the idiocy of that parasailing trip in the first place,
Yeah, no.
but I could.
Between the parasailing ship trip and going directly to the island yourself, the fuck were they thinking?
Uh,
You're right. They weren't thinking.
they were worried for their son. Cut them a little bit of slack.
I will call them.
I can't excuse their behavior once they're on the island.
Yeah, screaming your son's name to get his attention is definitely not going to draw the attention of
That was
other
dumb.
animals that might eat you.
That was very dumb. And they made a dumb choice in, in Grant and Billy being the only experts they hired. And
Yeah,
the
everyone
other
else was what? Actors, right?
mercenaries.
Mercenaries. Yeah,
Um,
no.
I liked the mercenaries. I thought they were pretty. It was a pretty cool, they were pretty cool. Udesky was a fairly decent guy, and again, didn't deserve the fucking fucking death he got. Because that man got set as bait in a fucking raptor trap. Um,
Yep.
I mean, Jesus, it is one of the more like, um, I wouldn't necessarily say brutal deaths because he doesn't get like torn apart or eaten or anything, but it's like he gets chased down by raptors, gets one of their big fuck off claws in the spine, which basically paralyzes him.
Yeah,
Um,
being used as raptor bait is not a fun way to go.
and then once the raptors realize the traps failed, they just snap his fucking neck.
Again, really fucked up.
Yeah. Um, Cooper, yeah, he probably deserved the death he got. Give him that. That was the dude who got left behind as they tried to take off and eaten by the Spinosaurus.
Mm.
And
And
then
Nash is the guy who just was like leaving his friends behind.
no,
Because fuck that.
no.
Wait,
Well,
Nash was the pilot, right?
Nash was gonna leave Cooper behind. I don't necessarily blame him for that take. He was trying to get out of there.
I
I'm not gonna blame any of these characters for seeing seeing a carnivorous dinosaur and going, you know what? Fuck this.
yeah.
I'm not paid enough for this bullshit. I'm leaving. Like, I'm not gonna blame him for that reaction. I can't blame him for that reaction. Um, yeah, his death isn't awful. He just sort of gets nommed by the Spinosaurus after the plane crash. Um, Udesky definitely has the most brutal death. Um, considering that Billy didn't die, cowards.
Mm-hmm.
That one would have been the most brutal death if he hadn't survived. Cause he got fucking savaged by the god damn it pteranodons.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been thinking while we've been talking. I think the reason why I do have more affection for Lost World and 3 than a lot of people um, is that when I was a kid, I inherited a set of basically like little plastic army soldiers. Um, I would generally, play with them and the, you know, dinosaurs that I had. So anytime I got to see, people who looked like soldiers and mercenaries and that shit in these films, are like, yay, I got it right, sort of thing. I don't know. Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay,
I'm listening to you.
I thought you walked away at the worst time when I actually when it was
No, no, no. You're
um
good.
or something had gone wrong technologically, which happens.
Hello? Hello? Ground control to Major Tom?
Also, I've just remembered that I've been watching a playthrough of Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, I think it is, the remake of the first one.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm suddenly understanding your use of the snake, snake, snake thing.
Yeah.
That happens a lot if you die a lot.
Yep. I've actually never played the Metal Gear Solid games.
Mm.
I've just seen people playing them on streams.
Yeah.
But yeah, there no, but one of the things that does bother me about Jurassic Park 3 overall is that it's just a much weaker story on the whole compared to the
Mm.
first two movies.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, again, the bit with the Spinosaurus is some of the worst artistic license with the dinosaur.
Mm.
Because, again, it's an primarily aquatic dinosaur with not nearly the musculature that would be required to engage in a land battle in Asia. I mean, against a T Rex.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a Princess Bride reference. Everything is a Princess Bride reference.
Mm.
But yeah, no, this is
Again, I feel like the differences in reality with the depiction of the dinosaurs in the movies can somewhat be explained that the people who made these creatures weren't dinosaur experts.
no,
They were
no.
geneticists, and they had a certain goal in mind, you know, uh, that they wanted to they wanted to get out of these dinosaurs. To a certain extent, they wanted the carnivores to feel like these vicious predators, to look and act like these vicious predators, because otherwise it gets boring. In their mind, I'm not saying they're correct in this. Um, and the fact is, we see in Jurassic World that they are fully comfortable fucking with uh, the genetics of these dinosaurs. Um, so
Mhm.
to a certain extent, I'm willing to. I know it's just some bullshit explanation to, explain why these dinosaurs don't act like science says they should, and but it's one that I'm willing to accept.
Hmm.
Um, but like I do understand the reason why this film gets a lot of
Flack.
flack. Yeah, because again, the characters aren't the best.
No,
Um,
the supporting cast is overall just much weaker than it is in the previous two films.
yeah. Obviously, Grant is still great. Like I don't think anyone would argue that Sam Neill
No,
doesn't do his best to carry the film. um,
oh, of course.
but you've got the Kirbys who uh like they obviously get better as the film goes on, but their sort of redemption doesn't necessarily feel earned.
No,
Um, and Billy holds the idiot ball horrifically by trying to steal the Velociraptor eggs.
I'm pretty sure every character except for Eric and Grant hold the idiot ball at some point.
Mm. Um, and I think there's also a certain amount of backlash towards Eric for feeling so competent, managing to survive for so long on his own. Um, but okay, this is interesting. Sam Neill has cited that Jurassic Park 3 is his favorite of the franchise and that he had a pleasant time filming it.
Oh, that's neat.
So, now maybe it's not so bad.
Well, at the very least, he had a fun time.
Hmm.
I mean, on the flip side, Alessandro Nivola had nothing nice to say about Jurassic Park 3's production.
Who was that?
I believe he was no, he was, oh, he was Billy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
he did not have a fun time.
Fair, the character.
Sam Neill helped him through the experience quite a bit, but,
Yeah. Apparently, Sam Neill felt his performance in the first film could have been better, which I feel like is a very, maybe playing yourself down a little bit. Um, Apparently, there was a lot more humor in the film that wasn't used. And obviously, it was the shortest of the trilogy. So
mhm.
okay. So apparently the reason Alessandro Nivola didn't like working on the film is because they gave him nothing to really latch onto character wise.
Yeah, Billy is kind of a blank slate.
Mm,
Besides that idiot ball moment.
yeah. Um, so I can totally understand that. Like, you know, it's not like the actual production was like problematic and people were taking liberties and that sort of thing. So um, I'll take that.
Yeah. Also, apparently the fight between the T Rex and the Spinosaur was supposed to be substantially longer before they cut it down.
I think I read that there were issues with the T Rex prop, like the T Rex model.
I'm not too surprised.
Um, see, where was it? Thought I saw it somewhere here. Um, yeah, mechanical malfunction on set and rewrites.
What movie nowadays doesn't go through rewrites?
Mm,
Honestly.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I do appreciate that they accidentally managed to get the Spinosaur swimming correct.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, the Spinosaur in the movie was actually a bit smaller than it was in reality.
Mm. I mean, there were definitely. I think there was one or two carnivores bigger than T Rex. Um,
Uh, Besides Spinosaurus, which is kind of murky,
mm.
the only ones that were bigger were Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus.
I always pronounced it as Gigantosaurus.
Yeah, it's Giganotosaurus.
Whatever.
I was a huge dinosaur nerd as a kid.
Yeah, but Gigantosaurus like actually makes it sound like gigantic.
Yeah, I know. I also thought the pronunciation was weird. But no,
I'm looking this up.
it is Giganotosaurus. Or Giganotosaurus, however you want to call it. but it is one of the few predatory species that is bigger than T-Rex.
Yeah.
Not by too much, mind
No.
you.
No.
It was also more slender, apparently.
Mm.
So the T-Rex was more of a thick boy.
Big strong boy.
Yep. Yeah, estimated to be about 15 meters, give or take. The most complete specimen ranged from about 12 to 13 meters, but the estimated largest size was a bit bigger. T-Rex, I believe, was estimated to be about 10 to 12 meters
Mm.
on average. Yeah, Carcharodontosaurus was the other one.
Mm.
And that one is also estimated to be about in that same size range as the Giganotosaurus.
Mm.
Oh, no, it's actually a bit smaller. Oh, no, no. Oh, they're both related to the Allosaurus of it distantly.
Ah.
That's interesting. There's not a lot of Carcharodontosaurus doesn't have as much biological, not biological, false remnants as the Giganotosaurus.
Cool. I'm just looking through the funny entry. Um.
Naturally. I'm looking up Sue right now,
Mm.
aka the most iconic T-Rex fossil. That Harry Dresden definitely didn't ride into battle, no siree.
That's another reason I appreciate dinosaurs. I was really, really, really scared of zombies as a kid. Um, and when I read that book, it was just like, so the best way to combat zombies is with a dinosaur.
Correct.
So that that really got me as a kid. I mean, in general, I was already a fucking you know dinosaur kid. Again, like the movies that I grew up on were the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Jurassic Park trilogy.
The ones I grew up with were Jurassic Park and Star Wars.
Mm.
Several other standalones, but those were two series I grew up with.
Mm. No, those are the ones that I watched so often. And so I do have nostalgia for these three films, for better or for worse, as the case may be with the latter two. Um, Maybe that's why I haven't watched the last two Jurassic World films, because I went through the same thing with The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and didn't
Mm,
want it to happen again.
I get that.
I don't know.
Also, fun little bit of Spinosaurus trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, in One Piece, Oda first drew a character that could transform into a Spinosaurus right before the discovery in 2020 that Spinosaurus had a paddle-shaped tail, which confirmed it was aquatic. So in the very next appearance of the character, he had the Spinosaurus form with a paddle-shaped tail.
Cool.
I just love these little bits of
Yeah.
trivia. But yeah, Now, also apparently, the shooting for Jurassic Park 3 began before the final script was even completed, which explains a lot.
Hmm. Um, so apparently, when William H. Macy, who plays Paul Kirby, was asked why he accepted a role in the movie, he replied, "Because I'm 50 years old and then get to fight a dinosaur." Which, you know what, fair.
Understandable. There are worse reasons. I think it was also because like he wanted to make a movie that his kids could watch.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his movies at that point were not really
Mm.
for children.
To be fair, this wasn't the most child-friendly film.
No, I think it was the first PG-13 one of the Jurassic Park movies.
Uh,
Because the first two were PG.
were they really? Wow.
Yeah. It's because they weren't as graphic as Jurassic Park 3.
I get that, yeah. Um,
There's a lot more explicit violence in 3 than there is in 1 and 2.
yeah, there is,
1
because
and 2, it's a lot more implied.
it is a lot more implied. We very rarely actually see the dinosaurs kill and eat people on the screen, do we? The first
Mm-hmm.
two. Because obviously in one, the three that die, four that die, sorry, are the lawyer. The lawyer, to be fair, is fairly explicit, but he's mostly snap gulp. Down he goes.
Yep.
Um,
Arnold is off screen.
Arnold is
Nedry
off
is off
screen.
screen.
Nedry,
Muldoon is off screen besides a blood splatter.
basically, we see the Dilophosaurus send out its neck frills that are completely bullshit,
Yeah.
and lunge forward, but after that it cuts outside the car,
The
and
car's rocking. Don't come a knocking.
and yeah, Muldoon gets that clever girl, and then basically that's it. He's gone.
Yeah, we see a little bit of blood spatter, and that's it.
We also get that dude at the start of the film who dies, but again he's dragged into the cage.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still a pretty horrifying scene.
Oh yeah,
Um,
just goes to show that you can make terrifying scenes without blood and gore.
hmm. Then in Lost World, I mean, we had that scene of the fucking little girl being savaged by the compies. Again, we didn't see it on screen, but it's implied enough. That still seems like it, should be it should be enough. But all of the InGen guys who died of the raptors, it's in the long grass. We don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ludlow again. He gets disabled by, or gets. I think he gets his legs savaged by the adult T Rex, and then Babby takes over. Um,
Mm-hmm. It's Babby's first kill.
yeah. Try to think who else. The paleontologist gets dragged out through the waterfall. All we see is his blood turning the water red. To be fair, Eddie Carr has a pretty fucking brutal on-screen death. He gets torn apart, literally.
Yeah, but we
split
don't
in
see
two.
any gore from that.
I guess.
Somehow.
I guess.
I'm honestly kind of shocked that there was no gore from that whatsoever. Like, Jesus
Again,
Christ.
they were probably told that they couldn't if they wanted to keep it PG. Um,
Cowards!
and then that asshole Dita gets torn apart by compies, but again, we don't actually see it.
No, we
Again,
just see them swarming over him as he screams
yeah,
on the other side of a log. I think it was.
log, and then again, his blood turns the water red.
Yeah.
They do find his body, but again, we're not shown it.
Yeah.
Whereas again in three, again only three deaths with a technical four if you want to count Billy as basically dying. He should have died.
Well, no, there's also another one in the hang glider dude.
Hang glider dude is pretty horrifying. Yeah, that is pretty horrifying. But obviously we get the three mercenaries. Cooper is savaged and then gets fucking picked up in the Spinosaurus's jaws. Um, Nash is crawling through the crashed plane when the Spinosaurus snaps up around his legs, drags him out, drops him, and then stomps on his legs and eats his head.
Yeah.
Which, that's kind of mean. You couldn't have just swallowed the guy.
No, the
Why would you
Spinosaurus
tear
is a
his head
dick.
off? Why would you tear his head off? That's just cruel. And then, as we've said, Udesky is. Oh, jeez, that's bad. That one was
Yeah, that's
bad.
fucked.
And then, yeah, Billy getting savaged by the pteranodons.
Yeah, no, it's
That
a
was
lot.
that was genuinely a pretty scary sequence, to be fair.
Hmm.
Like,
For non-horror movies, these movies are pretty horrifying.
mm, like, it's legit scary. The pteranodons. Again, there's some nom to it, but that one that just looks over at, I think it's Grant as he's reluctantly leaving. Um, Also, the honestly, it's kind of funny the scene when they try and call Sattler on the satellite phone while the Spinosaurus is attacking. But it's Sattler's kid who picks up, and he gets distracted by Barney.
Hmm.
I found it funny. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, I've just seen that entry on the funny page. Poor Dr. Grant. Wherever he goes, there always seems to be dinosaurs that want to see him dead.
Colin.
uh, yeah, I I love these films. Honestly, talking about these makes me want to watch them again.
Mm.
Um, I think I know I watched the first one during the first lockdown. I don't think I actually made it to Lost World or 3. Are they still on Amazon? I hope they're still on Amazon.
Just remember, you gotta throw a Lex Luthor doll out the window just as penance for using Amazon.
Mm, damn,
I kid, I kid.
it's rent and buy only. It's not with Prime.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Not to mention, fucking Prime has started to annoy me because they've added ads throughout the actual stuff.
Oh man,
Because I
the fuck.
I wanted to put MythBusters on while I was going to sleep, and I found out there was like I think it was over half a dozen ads throughout a 45-minute episode. I don't know how long the ad breaks would have been, but it was enough to get me to go, fuck off, you pricks.
Mm.
Um, won't be on Disney, will it?
Hold up.
Yeah, I doubt it. Uh, Maybe on Netflix? Please, Netflix? No. Darn. Pixels! That was the fucking shitty video game movie with Adam Sandler.
Oh
Pixels!
hey, full circle.
That came up, yeah. As did Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser.
That movie's actually a pretty good one, or it's a fun one at least.
And How to Train Your
I'm
Dragon.
I'm glad Brendan Fraser's getting the credit, the recognition he was due.
Same. I absolutely love Brendan Fraser.
Another breakout of the '90s that's
Mhm.
had his ups and downs, just like
Yeah.
Jurassic. It's tying it all in. Got to make it organic.
Yeah. Uh, Fuck it. Maybe I'll Maybe I'll sail the high seas for it. I've got the movies. But they're
I'm
also,
gonna be king of the pirates.
yeah. I have less I have less issues like streaming big blockbuster films.
Yeah, no, especially ones that have been out for a long ass time.
And as I said, I own the movies on DVD, and it is DVD, not Blu-ray.
Oh wow, I'm pretty sure I have at least the first one on DVD.
I want to I do want to try and find Jurassic Park 3 though, just so I can see that behind the scenes thing again because I always loved that.
Behind the scenes stuff is great, and I'm so sad that we don't have new releases have that nearly as much anymore.
Hmm.
So another Days Gone By type thing.
I've never been a fan of like the audio commentary from you
Oh,
know,
director's commentaries? No,
yeah.
that's not what I mean. I mean like the behind the scenes stuff, the
Yeah,
deleted
yeah, I'm
scenes, bloopers, outtakes, all that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that stuff I miss. I'm just making the point. I've never been able to actually really like listen to that. I don't know.
Nah, no, directors or cast commentaries aren't that easy.
Mm. Um, try to remember. There was one film. Oh, I think it was actually Game of Thrones. Where like some of it was fun just because it was like the kid actors. They were just fucking about. Again, I haven't actually listened to the whole things, but I've just listened to clips. Um, but yeah, we've hit the 2 hour mark. We spent an hour on the first one, half an hour each on the
Shocker.
next two. Yeah, it's not a surprise. Anything else wanna say?
The Jurassic Park movies are classic, even if the second and third one are a bit flawed.
Mm.
Definitely watch those if you haven't. I don't know why you'd be listening to this if you haven't watched the movies, but
Maybe you want to
watch
be
the Jurassic Park movies.
maybe you want to be convinced to watch them. I don't know.
Eh,
I won't blame you, you know, but it's definitely a full recommendation from both of us.
yeah.
Um,
Like, especially, even if you just want to watch one of the movies, the first movie is a fantastic movie on its own.
no,
It doesn't, you
absolutely.
don't even need to watch the other movies to enjoy the first one.
Hmm.
It is excellently self contained, phenomenal movie. The effects hold up really well.
Mm. Oh, I should point out, as a kid, I did start writing a story um, called Cretaceous Chaos,
Oh,
um,
God.
where where Grant was called to another dinosaur-filled island by Hammond's brother Bob Hammond. Um, but he was also joined by a lot more mercenaries, soldiers, because as I said, that was sort of what I did. I did not get very far in it.
Mm. Speaking of dinosaur stuff, I played Zoo Tycoon a lot as a kid, especially the dinosaur expansion.
Mm. I mean, if we're talking about video games, as a kid,
There's also the Jurassic Park arcade games that were
yeah,
really fun back
I
then.
I the game that I loved was Operation Genesis.
Oh, I remember that one.
I loved playing that one. Um, I actually managed to get um, probably an pirated copy, but no one's counting. I own the game a couple of times over at this point. It's fine. Um, but I did play a save of it uh, last year, I think it was. Um, and let me see if I can very quickly find what I was saying about it. 'Cause I know I posted about it in. It would help if I spelled operation right. Yeah, here we go. Um, I was playing it. The weather was it was thunderstorming, which can result in lightning hitting guests for the next few months. And my immediate reaction was, I can't close the park. What would that do to my park's reputation and profits? I felt very like John Hammond. Oh dear. Uh, the uh, the tyrannosaurs were also dumb animals, very dumb animals. Like
Hmm.
they panicked and started attacking each other a lot, and were just refusing to eat in general and dying of malnutrition.
Apparently, in reality, dinosaurs were actually pretty smart.
Well, these ones weren't.
Fair enough.
Um, but yeah, no, it's that's definitely a fun game. I enjoy playing it. Uh, I think I did manage to get a Spinosaurus at one point. I certainly got raptors. I definitely got raptors.
Need to find out if I can get Zoo Tycoon
Mm,
again, because I long ago gave away my old copy of it because it was for an old ass PC.
mm.
Yeah.
I know that Jurassic World um, franchise has a couple of video games. I think Evolution and Evolution 2, but I've not really don't really touched them. They seem a little bit too involved from what I've seen, certainly for my tastes. Um, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you have anything else you want to say, Jack.
Nope, that is everything.
All right, then. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane as much as we have. Um, in terms of future stuff, tomorrow should be D&D. Certainly, don't have any reasons why it wouldn't be.
Hmm.
Um, Tuesday, I believe we are continuing on with Arcade Spirits.
Should be.
Um, God, I got the name right. I would have felt a little embarrassed if I'd gotten it wrong. Um, Thursday, fingers crossed, we should be doing Tales of Arise again. Though again, it will be a later start because A, again will be on, and he generally starts later, and B, I'm once again closing on Thursday, which I'm.
Damn, you were just getting shit luck on those Thursday shifts, huh?
Yeah, I know it's sort of frustrating. Um, and then next Saturday is going to be our spring 2023 anime 3 plus episode check-in. That's a long name.
We're
Uh,
gonna be having a fun time with that. So we dropped a lot of shows.
we didn't drop. I don't think we dropped that many, to be fair. But
No, we just dropped the absolute worst
well,
ones, though.
we absolutely dropped the fucking worst ones because of course we did.
Why
Um,
wouldn't we?
yeah. Um,
Yeah, we're gonna be having some fun discussions.
we are. We definitely are. I mean, we've still got shows. If I just go over to the list, well, we've got a fair amount of our winter shows that didn't finish in time to still discuss. I mean, we've
Oh yeah, those are gonna be.
got Beaufrey, Epon again, Ruby, Tale of Outcast, Tokyo Revengers, Unite Up, um, Vinland Saga.
Finland's more carryover though.
Finland is a two-core to be fair, but it's still
Yeah,
included. Um,
and near you got near.
yeah, but that's not actually airing. We aren't going to be talking about it.
Oh okay, fair enough.
Yeah, there's still no indication that's coming back anytime soon. So,
Oh damn.
like, we've heard nothing about what's happening there. Um, But otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and on Twitter at storytime_net. And otherwise, we hope to see you tomorrow for more D&D. Good night.
Later.